Here's how you can automate tasks on the web using Cloud Cruise. For this example, we're looking at dentists in San Francisco on Yelp, and we want to extract all of the contact information of these dentist search results. So we want to, first of all, extract the name and the profile URL of each one of these results. Then we want to navigate through each one of the profile URLs, extracting the phone, the website, and any other contact info. And then we'll paginate through the results. So we'll go to the next page, and so we've extracted all the information from these search results. So let's jump into Cloud Cruise and see how we build it. So first we'll go to workflows and we create a new workflow. Let's give it a name like extract dentists, something like that. Great. And then we come into the workflow builder itself. Cool. Okay, so workflows in Cloud Cruise are made up of steps or nodes. The first node has to be a start node, and let's add the right entry point that we want here. So that's the Yelp search that we were on before. Now, we want to add the next node. We can do this either with a right click to open up the add node function, or we can do it with this little plus button on the bottom left here. So you can see that the nodes that we can add, we have like a lot of different actions here, like navigating, clicking, typing, selecting. What we want to do next is we want to extract all of the profiles that are existing in the results. So let's select extract here. And it's really easy to describe what we want to extract. We can do it just in plain language. So let's say extract a list of dentists. For each dentist, we want to extract their name and their profile URL. Now, I think the only other detail we want to give it is that we only want to extract these all dentist results. Ensure to only extract the results, and I'll say do not extract sponsored results. And that's just because there are a lot of results above here which don't change the pagination, and we don't want to grab those. We just want to grab the all dentist results, which will paginate with this, and so we can get like all of the results at the end. Okay, cool. So now we've described what we want to extract just in plain language to the LLM. And we want to define which variable we want to extract it to. So we need to save the result into memory so we can loop through it later and use it in the workflow. So let's create a variable here. So I create a variable. Let's call it, in fact, first of all, let's define the type of it. So each variable in Cloud Cruise has a type, so the LLM knows exactly what it needs to extract and in which format it needs to extract it in. So over here, we're extracting a list of dentists. So let's go ahead and choose the array type. And I'm going to call this list of dentists, so it's very clear what it is. And then for each object in the list, we should define the properties. So what do we want to define, or what do we want to extract in this list? So we want to extract the name of each dentist, and then we also want to extract the profile URL. We want the profile URL so that in the next step we can navigate through each one of the profile URLs and extract the more detailed information from the profile. So if I open this up here, and we'll be able to see the information. So we want to extract, for example, like the phone number here, and there's a website if there is a website. Okay, cool. So now that we've defined that variable, we can then add it in the extract step here. Cool. Okay, great. Let's add that, and we can connect those together. Okay, so now we have a list of items. So we can use that in the next step, which is a loop. So in the loop, we can choose our list of dentists, and then we have to define the current item, or the reference to the current item in the list. So the list is made up of a series of objects that we defined here, right? These are all the objects, and we have to have some way of referencing each particular object in the iteration. So I'm going to call it current dentist, like that. Great. Okay, so for each one of these dentist objects, we want to navigate to their profile URL, and this gets automatically loaded just from the definition that we used before. So let's do current dentist profile URL, and it's extracted by the LLM. Okay, so then once we've navigated to the profile, we want to do an extract step, because at this point we'll be on a profile that looks like that, and we want to extract let's say the name, the phone, and the website, and we will define another variable to extract that. So we'll say dentist info. And here it's not an object, it's not an array anymore, it's actually an object because there's just one of them. There's just one profile at a time that we're going to loop through. So let's say name, phone, and website. Great, cool. Now we can go back here and we can assign the right variable to the extract step, like so. Let's close that. And then the next action we want to do here is we want to save to output. So in Cloud Cruise, if you want to write a row to the output CSV, then you need to use a save to output step. So each time you call this, it's going to be adding a row to the CSV at the end. And here we can choose each value that we want to populate in the row. So here we have, say, like the name, and we can choose the column name we want to associate it with as well. So you have name here. Let's do phone and website. Great. So now we've finished with each one of these profiles. We can go back to the start of the loop, and now we need to figure out what happens when we finish the loop. Now, if we just wanted to do one page of the results from Yelp, then we could just finish the whole workflow here. We could just add an end node here, and we'd be done. But if we want to add pagination, then we're going to need to add a little bit more. So if we want to do pagination, then we're going to need to navigate back to this page. If we want to navigate back to this page, then we need to have got it already previously in the workflow. So let's add another variable in the extract step. So I'm going to ask it to extract the current page URL, and I'm going to add a new variable, which is going to be called current URL here. And let's extract that into current URL. Okay, cool. I'm going to delete this and put that in here. Okay, cool. So now we have a tracker for the previous page URL that we were at before. So when we go to our loop, we can then navigate back to the page that we extracted before. We can add this variable here, current page URL, like that. Nice. Okay, so now we're back at the page where we had previously extracted all the dentist profiles from. So now we can take a decision. Do we want to keep paginating or do we not? And you can describe this condition in natural language, just like any of the other AI actions that we've been doing in this workflow. If we want to paginate through every single one of these, then we can just say something like, is it possible to paginate to the next page of results, or is this the last page? And that's going to give us a yes or no answer, or a true or false answer. If we're on the last page, so if it's false, if there are no more pages to paginate to, then we can just finish the recipe here. We can end. So let's add the end step here. But if it is possible, then we're going to want to click to the next page. So again, we add a click step, and we just describe the element we want to click, which is basically going to be one of these or these. So I'll just say click. Oh no, find the next page element, and let's add that to the true edge of this node, and then from there we can go all the way back to where we extracted the current page URL. So now we'll click to the next page results. We'll store that current page URL, extract it, and then store it in memory. Then we'll extract the new results. So if we click here, so we go to here, we extract the current URL so we can go back there later on in the recipe. We extract the new set of results from here. We navigate through each one of their profiles and extract the right data. Once we're finished with all the results, then we navigate back to the home page, essentially, figure out whether we can keep paginating. If we can paginate, then click on the pagination button and keep going like that. So this is how this workflow is going to extract all of these contact details of all the dentists in San Francisco. So we're going to save it like so. Cool. Now if I go back to my workflows, you can see it here, extract dentists, and I can kick it off. So now it's going to go through each one of those steps that we defined. So in the first step, we're going to extract the current page URL. Then we're going to extract all of the dentist results on the page, but we're not going to extract the sponsored results, just going to extract the all dentist results here. Then we're going to loop through the URLs of each one of those profiles. We're going to extract the information in each one of the profiles. We're going to save it to the output, and then we're going to keep looping around until we finished all those profiles, and then we're going to decide whether or not to paginate. Now, we don't have time to go through like every single one of these, so we'll load in a template that looks like this into the tool, so you'll be able to try it out for yourself, or even make edits or play around with it if you like. But for the sake of this demo, we'll just go through maybe one example so we can see it working. So now it's finished extracting, and now we get all of these results. And you can see that it is successfully figured out only to extract these all dentist results, not the sponsored results. Now it's going to navigate, so it's navigating to each one of these URLs that it's extracted, and it's going to pull out the content information like the website and the phone from each one. So now it's working on that extraction. And we should also mention that for Cloud Cruise workflows, these can always operate in the background. So particularly for more complicated requests where it takes longer to load, you won't be watching it yourself. You can be working on other things in other tabs of the browser. Once it's finished extracting this information, then it's going to save this particular row to the output, and then it's going to move on to the next item in the list that we stored. So it's just finished doing that extraction. Now it's going to save it to the output. Great. And then if I go to my run results, you can see that it's extracted the first row there. Awesome. So this is how to build this workflow in Cloud Cruise, and look forward to hearing about how you test it out yourself.